For me, 9/11 actually starts just about a year earlier here in Pasadena. Kind of come around full circle and never knew that 21 years I'd end up over here. It was early in the morning, and my wife and I just recently married, just prior. Married in Pasadena at that Church of Assumption. The greenhouse is where I spent my last evening as a bachelor. That was grandma's house, her grandma's house. And the church and the little chapel there is where we got married. Ended up driving all the way to Wisconsin, U-Haul, towing the Toyota on a flatbed behind. Brand new truck. Never ran a brand new truck. A few months later, we ended up getting pregnant, and that particular morning was the first day of our ultrasound. That's when we were going to get to see my little baby boy. I think our appointment was around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And as always, I'd come downstairs and start making coffee and start getting ready and turn on the Weather Channel and turn on CNN. And as I turned on CNN and walked back over to the kitchen and started making coffee, I had heard something about a fire in the Twin Towers in New York. And I kind of huddled over to the kitchen and living room. And I saw one of the towers smoking. I'm like, oh my God, tower, I wasn't sure which tower it was. It was smoking and everything. And I remember yelling back upstairs real loud, Carrie, come down here quick. One of the towers is on fire. What? One of the towers is on fire. She came down later in the middle of getting ready. And she's standing there right next to me on my right hand side and watching. And I think what I remember seeing was just debris falling from where the impact and the smoke was coming out. Didn't know it was an impact. Had no idea what actually it was. I believe they were saying that something about a small plane or maybe a missile or an explosion or something. Everything was still so vague. And then a few minutes later, we saw the plane coming as it was coming down at an angle and just hit the other tower. I remember I was just, it was like someone put me in the gut. I lost my breath. My wife had said, she just gasped and then she just clutched my hand. And we're looking, and it's like, oh my God, are we really watching this? Are we really watching this? And then they said that they think they had suspected that a plane had hit the first tower. And then just shortly thereafter, we saw we weren't sure what it was. Still thought it was debris, but then quickly you notice that it was the one body that was jumping out of the building. The most horrendous sight. Immediately she started crying. I just followed there afterwards and just completely astonished. Unbelievable. Still had no idea what was going on. We were there just watching and completely forgetting about our ultrasound appointment. Soon after that, the first tower came crumbling down. Just a big plume of smoke, just everything just coming straight down. And the first thing that came to my mind was, oh my God, there has to be people in there. There's no way that hundreds or thousands of people could evacuate that one building that was coming down. I'm thinking about all the children, all the people. Just the whole thing was just unbelievable. And then shortly thereafter, the other tower came down, and then the smaller one came down. At a complete loss of words from the other televisions that we were seeing, the other news reports that we were seeing, just from the ground level, from the street level, the plumes of smoke that were coming in, the people were just running away, and the cameramen that were just kind of running away, and the one that ducked into the one storefront, and they shut the door, and you just see the plume of smoke, kind of like a pyroclastic cloud from a volcano. That for us, for me, was 20 years ago. What was supposed to be the most happiest day, the most happiest morning of our lives, shortly after being married. Living in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, I was working for Rosala Publishing Company. I was in all-American state, in an all-American city, working for an all-American, good old American, self-owned, employee-owned company, Rosala Publishing Incorporated. I didn't realize after watching everything and just being mesmerized by the TV and all the broadcasting and still the confusion and everything, and then they were reporting about Pennsylvania and in Washington, and then we had seen the aftermath of the plane in the field, and then they were saying that they were hearing things and reports being conveyed from them, I guess via television or whatever, that the people on board had overtaken the airplane. Well, actually, that came later. They thought that it was just a plane first that just crashed into the ground. And I think that was afterwards that almost all the airports were just like being slowly shut down, or just flights were being diverted. And I think any other planes that were headed to New York or the Capitol or the Pentagon that were being diverted, and then the jet fighters being scrambled. I had reminded her that we got to go, and we had the doctor's appointment. We were late. We were very, very late. Got in the car. It was very, very quiet in the car between the both of us. We just, at the red lights, few red lights from our house down to St. Michael's Hospital, where my baby boy was born. Nobody really had known what was going on at the hospital. Our friends and people that we knew that worked in the hospital, in and out of the hospital. Actually, I had a job there, a part-time job, working as housekeeping for the hospital for St. Michael's. I was cleaning the satellites around the properties, and also in Plover, I believe. We were telling everybody as we were walking in, hey, Barbara, have you heard? Have you guys heard? We didn't hear anything. You know, all you could hear is an occasional Brahms lullaby being broadcasted over this PA system. St. Michael's Hospital, when they had babies, they would play Brahms lullaby to announce a newborn baby. Nothing. Not even when we went into the doctor's office and they had the television there. There was still nothing there, and we told the receptionist what was going on. And then she changed it. And then we were called in. We were significantly late, actually. We were about an hour or so late. And as we came out, and then we just went into the lobby and started seeing more and more of the reports coming in, and a little bit more clarity. And terrorists and all this other stuff, and just the whole mess, you know. And the camera was focused back on what was where the towers were. It was just a void. It was just an empty void, and you just see the rubble and the smoke, and yet you could still see the one frame of the one part of the bottom part of the tower just sticking up. What was supposed to have been the most happiest, joyous moment of our firstborn to see is forever marked, you know. It's just my baby boy is about 19 years old now. And sad to say that, you know, just the whole remembering of that morning was just not a good memory, really. Still, the ultrasound of the doctor's visit and the photographs that we had, the printed out pictures of the ultrasound. Honestly, for me, still pales in comparison to the towers. Like I said, I never knew that 20 years later my life would have started over here again. For me, 9/11 started at least a year early. Everything. I really don't know how to talk or say anything on this video. But that was my moment. Not in full detail, but my memory, remembering 9/11 that morning. Comment good or bad or below. Everyone remembers that particular morning. Everyone around the world is affected. I was at Twin Towers. I can only imagine a person of every nationality was at least in that building or affected. I love you all. Bye.